The rain hammered the cracked pavement of the old railway footbridge in Gullberg Park, turning the iron railings slick and black. Axa stood beneath the rusted shelter, her dupatta clinging to her shoulders like wet tissue. She was 26, eyes swollen from crying, clutching a small plastic folder that held the divorce papers. Across from her, under the dripping branches of a lone neem tree, waited Ali, 29, beard trimmed short, the collar of his kurta soaked through. "You're late," Axa said, voice steady despite the tremor in her fingers. "I know." Ali stepped onto the bridge, shoes leaving dark prints. "The rickshaw broke down near the canal." "Don't," she raised a palm. "I waited 2 hours and 11 minutes. I timed it on my phone." Ali exhaled, breath fogging in the cold drizzle. "I almost didn't come." Axa gave a brittle laugh. "Then why are you here?" "Because you said it was about Zane." Their son, 18 months old, asleep at Axa's parents' flat in Johar town. "You said we had to talk about custody." "We do." She opened the folder, pulled out a single marigold, wilted, its orange petals bruised. "You left this on the gate last Thursday, with a card that said Maaf Kardu. I kept it. Today I'm returning it." Ali took the flower, stem snapping between his fingers. A drop of rainwater slid down his wrist. "I am sorry, Axa." Sorry does unbruise a cheekbone. The wind rattled the corrugated roof above them. Somewhere below, a train whistle moaned. Ali spoke first. "I was angry, possessive, wrong. I know what I did." "You fractured my wrist, Ali, when I was 7 months pregnant." "I didn't aim for the stomach. I yanked your arm." Hard enough that the X-ray tech asked if I'd fallen downstairs. Hard enough that Amy filed the police report herself. He looked down at the marigold, then at the rushing brown water far beneath the bridge. "I haven't touched a drop in 9 months." "Good. Zane will need a father who doesn't reek of despair and Black Label." Ali's gaze snapped back. "I want to see him. Supervised if you insist. I'll sign anything." Axa studied him. The rain had flattened his hair. He looked almost like the boy she'd married at 23, the one who used to recite Galib under the fairy lights at their Walima. "You remember the night you proposed?" she asked suddenly. "On the rooftop of your hostel. You were wearing that green anarkali with silver goda. You said, 'I'll never raise my hand in anger, not even to point at the moon.'" Ali closed his eyes. "I remember." "Then you became the man who pointed fists instead." He opened his mouth, shut it. The marigold trembled in his grip. Axa continued, softer. "I stayed longer than I should have. Told myself every marriage has storms. Told myself Zane needed his Abu. But the night you slammed me against the fridge while I was holding him," her voice fractured, "I promised Allah that would be the last time." "I know." "Do you?" She stepped closer. The shelter's shadow swallowed them. "Because you keep calling. Keep sending biryani from But Karahi. Keep saying Baz Ek or Makkah. But a chance for what, Ali? For me to flinch every time you reach for the TV remote." He had no reply. Axa pulled a fresh envelope from her bag. "Talak papers. My lawyer drafted them last month. You'll have Saturday visitation, supervised for 12 months. You'll pay maintenance. You'll attend therapy and stay sober, or you don't see Zane at all." Ali stared at the envelope like it was written in fire. "You think the next man will never lose his temper?" "I think the next man won't get the chance, because I'm done paying tuition with my bones." A gust shook the bridge. The marigold's petals scattered like orange confetti into the floodwater below. Ali's voice dropped. I loved you so much it choked me. When you laughed with that colleague at the office iftar, when your phone buzzed after midnight, I saw betrayal everywhere. I thought if I controlled the world, I could keep you safe. Keep us safe. Love isn't a cage, Ali. I know that now. Axa's eyes welled, but she didn't blink. Do you remember Zane's first word? Baba, he whispered. He said it the morning after you shattered the pressure cooker. He was pointing at the metal pieces on the floor. Ali's face folded in on itself. He sank onto the wet bench, Marigold forgotten. Axa remained standing. I'm keeping the flat. You can have the Honda. I've already changed the locks and the Wi-Fi password. He nodded slowly. Will you tell him about me? Only the truth. That his father is human. That humans can wound the ones they claim to protect. That choosing help is braver than pretending to be strong. Ali looked up. Can I write him letters, for when he's older? Axa hesitated. The rain eased to a mist. The call to Maghrib drifted faint from a distant mosque. Yes, she said finally, but I read them first. He managed the ghost of a smile. Fair. She turned to leave. Axa. She paused at the bridge's edge. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want to be someone he runs to, not from. Axa looked back. Water dripped from the hem of her dupatta. Then start by being someone you don't run from. She walked away, chapels splashing through puddles that reflected the sodium streetlights. Ali stayed on the bench long after she vanished down the spiral stairs, the broken marigold bleeding orange onto the wood. 4 months later, on a crisp March morning, Ali sat in a community center that smelled of damp wool and instant coffee. He raised his hand when the counselor asked for 6-month chips. The plastic token was flimsy, but it weighed more than the gold ring he'd once slid onto Axa's finger. Across the city, Axa pushed Zane on a swing in boggy Jinnah, his laughter bright as breaking glass. She had enrolled in an online course, digital marketing, the career she'd paused when motherhood arrived early. Her first project, a campaign for a women's shelter, Taglangar Surf Char Diwaran Ka Nam Nahi. Ali's letters began arriving, short, careful, written in neat Urdu on cream stationery. The first one had a watercolor of Zane's favorite yellow school bus. Axa read it 3 times, then slipped it into a biscuit tin on the top shelf of the pantry. One Saturday in May, supervised visitation began at the Lahore Zoo. Ali arrived early, clutching a plush peacock and a folder of animal stickers. Zane toddled to him without hesitation, yelling Baba, the way only bobbies can, pure sound, no history. Axa watched from a bench, 20 paces away as required. Ali knelt, let Zane climb him like a tamarind tree. When the peacock's tail feather drooped, Ali didn't shout. He simply tucked it back with a safety pin, gentle. At the end of the hour, Zane clung to Ali's legs and wailed. Ali looked at Axa, eyes pleading. She nodded once. He lifted Zane, pressed a kiss to his curls, then set him down with a whispered Allah Hafiz. Next week, Beta. Zane waved, until Ali disappeared behind the elephant enclosure. Axa exhaled a breath she hadn't known she was holding. Years slipped by like pages in a well-worn diary. Ali earned unsupervised Sundays, then Eid mornings. He never missed a vaccination, a parent-teacher meeting, a feverish 3 a.m. phone call. The therapist became a friend. The friend introduced him to woodworking. Ali began crafting wooden toys, trains, rocking horses, a miniature charbagh for Zane's 5th birthday. Axa graduated with honors. Her shelter campaign went viral, donations poured in. She dated a soft-spoken history teacher who brought her chai without asking how many sugars. They took it slow. On Zayn's 8th birthday, Ali built him a treehouse in the courtyard of Axa's parents' home. The three of them painted it together, turquoise, saffron, emerald stripes. When it was done, Zayn asked if Baba could stay for Nihari. Axa met Ali's eyes over their son's head. Of course. Later, washing steel plates side by side while Zayn hunted glowworms, Ali said, "I still have the marigold, pressed between the pages of my old Iqbal." Axa dried a bowl. "I still have the letters." They didn't smile, too many scars for that, but something loosened between them, like a knot finally giving way. Outside, Zayn's laughter rang through the dusk. The treehouse lights flickered on, strung by Ali the week before. Glowworms blinked in answer. Some monsoons leave the earth scarred and barren. Others soak the soil just enough for new seeds to take root. Neither Axa nor Ali would ever call their story a love song. But on quiet nights, when Zayn was asleep and the flat smelled of sandalwood from the fresh-cut shelves Ali had installed, Axa sometimes caught herself humming the nasheed they'd played at their nikah. And across town, in a modest workshop filled with sawdust and sobriety tokens, Ali kept a photo on his workbench. The three of them beneath the finished treehouse, paint on their noses, arms around each other. The rain that day on the Gulberg footbridge had washed away the life they thought was forever. What grew in its place was something sturdier, scarred, imperfect, but standing.